What's up, guys? Finally, I am able to work in our new garage. We got the floors done, and my hubby, he loved the cabinets that we got. And so I'm gonna be working on my mirror project today. I have this Craftsman air nail gun, and I'm going to use it to do the mirror project. I have my wood that we picked up from Lowe's, and I've got my attachments over here, and I'm excited because this is gonna be the first time I'm using a nail gun, so hopefully I don't hurt myself. But all right, we're gonna get started. So I have these two pieces. I cut it in half because the wood was 4x8 and I want to do a 4x7, but of course when you add the framing in between the mirror, it made it longer than 4 feet. So I decided to cut it in half, and I'm going to brace my piece in the middle, and once we put the frame all the way around the edge, it should brace it and make it safe enough that I can put the mirror all the way across. So right now I'm going to open up my lots of mirrors from Ikea, and I'm going to go ahead and measure it out to make sure that I space it enough and put the brace in the center, and also have enough space that the mirrors fit in between each frame. They are 12 by 12, but in actuality they're 11.8 by 11.8. So when you are trying to create this frame, you definitely want to have these on hand to make sure that you accurately measure it and there won't be too much space between each of your frames. So get them before you get started, because it's technically not 12 by 12 perfectly. I would be having 4 across. And of course, as I said, I will be adding a centerpiece to brace the whole thing. So I'm definitely gonna need this. This is going to be my frame going across the top before I trim. So this kind of gives me an idea of how much space should go between each piece. Safety first. Double checking my measurements. I just wanted to make sure that there's enough space between each mirror and enough room for the frame. So I had to do that first before I start nailing everything, and then all of a sudden, oops, my measurements are off. So now that I got that down packed, I can go ahead and start nailing the frame on. Alright guys, so this is my first time using an air compressor nail gun, and I went through the instructions briefly, and I'm gonna give it a shot. Alright, feels like it's on there. Wow, that was definitely a lot easier than I thought. I can't believe I was dealing with a hammer and brads for so long. That was pretty fast. Time to do the other side. everything is nailed in as far as the outer frame. So I'm gonna start working on the long parts of the frame that goes in between the lots of mirrors. So I'm gonna start with the long pieces, and then I'll do the shorter pieces that go in between the long pieces after. It's day 2. I'm ready to finish up my frame today. So I was able to use my saw and pretty much cut out that piece that I told you about that I needed for the center to fill in the gap. Now that the gap is filled, I can go ahead and put that final long piece in the center. And now I'm actually measuring out the long pieces to make the cross sections for my borders. And so I'm cutting these down, and I am measuring each one individually and using the mirrors as a guide to make sure that I do it properly. As I'm nailing, of course, I put the mirror in to use it as a guide, and I was like, wait a minute, how am I gonna get the mirror out? So I don't know if you guys have these in your house. You gotta change your light bulb up in the ceiling. Well, they have the suction cup. So this is a good idea to use this suction cup to get the mirror out, because obviously I have to paint the frame before the mirrors can go in. So that's an easy way to get the mirror out after you've nailed the cross section in. So I went ahead and I put in all of my cross sections. I want to go ahead now and flip it over, and I have some scrap wood from another project that I'm going to use to put on the back as a brace so that my piece is nice and stable. And so before I flip it over, what I do want to do is actually take my piece of wood and line it up with this and mark where I'm putting my screws, because obviously I use the nails to nail the front and I don't want my screws to interfere with my nails. So make sure that you do that and you mark where you're putting your screws first before you flip this over, or you're just going to be giving yourself extra work. I am finally done with putting the braces on the back and all the cross sections for all 3 pieces. I have 2 pieces here on a table and the third one over there. Now I'm going to go ahead and start filling all of my nail holes and any type of gaps that I have with this wood filler. And then once I am done with the wood filler, I can go ahead and finally start staining my piece. Then once it's stained, we pop in the mirrors and I get my mirrors. Yay! Able to paint my frame today. It's actually Christmas, but guess what? I have a moment and I enjoy painting, so it's not work to me. So I'm gonna get started on painting my mirror frames today, and I'm super excited about it. So I like to use a regular bristle brush. You can also use a sponge, but since I'm a painter, this is what I prefer. Alright guys, so this is the wall that I am putting my mirrors on. It's a 12 foot by 20 foot wall, so it's 12 foot ceilings. And pretty much what I did was I measured the wall before I made the mirrors, of course, because I need to make sure the size is right. And I like to have an even amount of space on the top and the bottom as well as on the sides. I originally wanted to go with a 5x7, but if I did 3 5x7s, it would have been so close to the light, and I just don't want to look like I'm stuffing the mirrors into the space. So we went ahead and did 4x7 mirrors, and I think that it's going to look amazing. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see how they look on the wall. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and lay the mirror down. So this is the moment of truth to make sure that the glue actually kept the mirrors on, but we need to put the bracket on the back. I've already marked up all the spots on the wall, so here goes nothing.
Right, slowly. Oh. This thing is heavy.
Yeah. Out of my fingers. All right, so you're wondering, what am I gonna use to hang such a heavy mirror? Well, I found this brand, it's called Ook, and pretty much it's like a picture hanging system where it has this long bar that goes across, and then when you attach one to the wall and one to the frame, and then it hooks right into it. And it says it can hold up to 300 pounds, so it's perfect, and it will definitely hold the mirror up. I also used it for my moss wall. If you guys haven't seen my moss wall video, make sure to check it out. I put that on the back of the moss wall, and the moss wall is super heavy, and it definitely held it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on.
Ready? I'm put it down when you get over here.
Oh my gosh, that's high.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be.
You gotta go more up, more up. And
Okay, come on.
your side, put your side down next.
Okay.
More, more. All right, now you're gonna slide it this way.
All right, slide until you. That's. Might want to push it.
All right, a little bit more. There, it's right in place.